The two social media gladiators, the generals who run the online armies of the BJP and the Congress, and it turns out they've met in person for the first time here at the India Today Bangalore Panchayat. I want to begin by introducing Bengaluru Panchayat. I want to begin by introducing local Bengaluru girl, the general of the Congress's social media army, the lady many consider responsible for turning around Rahul Gandhi's social media fortunes, even though she strongly disputes this. Our audience here at the Karnataka Panchayat, can we have a warm round of applause as we welcome local girl Divya Spandana. Squaring off against him, the man who runs the most formidable social media army India has seen. If they like you, they can take your following into the millions. If they hate you, they'll pounce on you and they'll kill you. Can we have a very warm round of applause for a man who has a very strong Bengaluru connect himself? He stayed here for many years in his corporate avatar before he took over the IT cell of the BJP, Amit Malviya.
Thank you.
Welcome. So I have a million questions, but we'll start with the first. What's the strategy, Amit, of the BJP when it comes to social media, when it comes to IT, going into the big Karnataka elections?
Amit Shah.
Well, Amit
You are trolling him already.
Amit Shah is definitely one of the trump cards that the BJP has. But more specifically speaking, the BJP has a very deep, entrenched cadre base in the state. And Karnataka is a very technologically connected state. It's literate, and the internet penetration and the digital penetration is extremely high. And in some senses, I've traveled to all the states of the country, and I can tell you that Karnataka really ranks amongst the most active states digitally. That combined with the ideological bulwark that is provided by a lot of people who espouse right-wing dharmic ideology are based out of Karnataka. It is in some sense seeing a resurgence of a right-wing movement from here. And I think that really makes us quite well placed as far as Karnataka elections are concerned.
So, Divya, give us your broad outlook in terms of the Karnataka elections. This is home turf for you. So it's also a matter of prestige. How is it that you're hoping to win the conversation on social media in Karnataka?
Hoping to win? No, we're winning.
On social media or in the elections or both?
Both. We're already winning on social media thanks to Amit Shah. And we're definitely winning the elections.
So, I haven't seen, Amit, the Congress so confident in a very long time. Usually it's the Congress that's on the back foot, the BJP setting the agenda, and the Congress is ducking the bouncers that you're throwing their way. This time, they're the ones bowling the Yorkers, the Beamers, and the bouncers, and you're the ones seem to be ducking.
They're always confident before the election. And when the polling happens, they end up with moral victory. And it's going to be no different in Karnataka here.
So, Divya, this is a big problem. The Congress has the spectacular ability of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. So how is it that what we saw happen in other states, in Goa where you were poised to form a government, you didn't, in Gujarat, which Rahul Gandhi later said we could have possibly won if we tweaked a few things. It was a battle that was a very tightly fought battle. The fear is you may be ahead right now, but something may happen between now and the 12th of May where the BJP gains momentum and the Congress loses what it's got.
We just have to wait for May 15th and then we'll know what the answer is.
But a moral victory is not going to be good enough,
Well, you lose some, you win some, but I'm telling you for sure we're winning Karnataka.
So when you came into the Congress's social media cell, there were many who thought, where's she been brought from? Why has she been given this job? Within your party as well, apart from those on the outside. Can you, since you make so few public appearances nowadays, explain to everyone who's seated here, how did you go about rebuilding or building the Congress's social media strategy?
I did face a lot of criticism online, mostly from the BJP, who said, oh, she's a woman, she's an actress, what does she know about social media, what is she going to do and all of that. I agree that Although my film background did help me a little bit with social media, I didn't really use social media much, and I didn't know much about it. It's not just about tweeting, it's not about just posting something, it's a lot more. There's a science behind it. And I took it up as a challenge, and I think all credit should go to Mr. Gandhi for believing in me and thinking that I could take this up and really turn things around. And I did take guidance from him as well, and I think he made it very simple for me. And all that he said was, no matter what, Divya, just focus on the truth. And that is the basis of our philosophy and everything that we do at the social media.
Focus on the truth and accuse the BJP of spreading mistruth on social media.
Not accuse. Speak the truth, which is that they do spread fake propaganda, which I'm still trying to undo, by the way, everything that they did in 2014 and continuing to do so.
Amit, she's punching you left and right, man.
I know, I must give the lady the first chance. But the fact is that I quite admire that she's here to defend the indefensible that's recently happened to the Congress party. And of course, I'm talking about Cambridge Analytica and their association with this insidious firm.
That's
as far
a lie.
as lies are
That's
concerned...
not true at all.
All right.
We have never engaged with them. We have never hired their services. It's absolutely false.
All right.
Even the documents
Okay.
that Christopher Wiley produced before the court does not mention anywhere that the Congress was hired or was their client. So please take that back.
All right.
But whereas Himanshu
Can I
Sharma in his
just
LinkedIn
finish
account
what I have to
said
say?
that he worked for you in 2014 for Mission 272.
All right. So everybody, other than the Congress party, seems to be lying in this issue. Whether it's Christopher Weil or Bentley, the tech blogger who shot the Congress logo in Alexander Nick's office, the meeting that Rahul Gandhi had with Alexander Nix, and of course the various flip-flops that the Congress spokesperson and Divya has also done. Now,
Amit,
quickly.
please, let me just
No,
interrupt
Divya,
you
let me
because
finish,
you
let me
can't
finish.
continue
No,
to keep
you
telling
cannot
lies.
continue
Hold on one
interrupting me.
second.
The fact is, Divya,
It doesn't matter if somebody
on the
met somebody or
22nd,
received proposals.
you
Okay, one second.
disputed.
What
One
matters
second.
is if we did business or
Divya,
not.
one second.
We
Amit,
can't
one
have
second.
this.
If I don't intervene, this can go downhill like
so-
a lot of conversations on social media. And I made a promise to both my guests. We'll keep it civil.
Thank you.
I guarantee I'll allow you equal opportunity. Divya, allow the gentleman to complete. We will give you an opportunity.
Yes,
Divya.
please. So, since I'm in your town, you should be civil. The fact is that on the 21st, 22nd, their spokesperson, including Divya, denied having any truck with Cambridge Analytica. On 27th, she gives an interview to a former journalist of an English channel where she admits that they could have had some dealings, some conversations, perhaps a lot of conversations. There are
Dealings is the wrong
documents
word.
that are out today which clearly establish that Cambridge Analytica has submitted proposals for 2019 as well as for Karnataka elections and the upcoming elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Now, I don't have a problem if you want to use an agency. At least be truthful about it. And don't work with an agency that is looking to manipulate, do psychographic analysis, and then target people. And on that point, on 27th again in the same interview, Divya said that she and her team does not believe in any psychoanalysis. So I knew that she wasn't speaking the truth, so I did some quick search. And I found out in February 2018, she was speaking at Comets College, where she was asked a question on what kind of content they make. And I will quote what she said. She said, and how you, I wouldn't say condition, but how you take control of other person's mind and get them to see what you want them to see. She further said, but social media is all about controlling other person's mind. There is psychoanalysis in social media. So really, she was speaking what Cambridge
May I?
Analytica had tutored her.
May I?
And
Okay,
she
you've
flipped
spoken.
her position in
No,
exactly a matter of
that's a
one month
lie.
when they were
Amit,
called
let her
out.
respond, let her
I'm
respond.
sorry.
So these are the
the
bunch of
question
lies.
from the student was asking me about what psychoanalysis is. And
No,
I was,
she-
no,
the
I'm
specific
sorry,
question
you're lying.
was-
You're lying.
The specific question was,
That's a lie.
how do you
Amit,
make
you made a point.
memes and content in social media? I
It
can
was
read
not
that question
specific
for
to
you.
what the Congress party
It
was
was
doing.
specific to that.
No, it wasn't. You're lying,
Let her
okay?
respond.
That's a
Oh,
lie.
I've
No, so
just
what's the
proved
truth?
your lie, and
truth
you
is the
continue to say
question-
that I'm lying.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I have a clip of it and I'd like to, I don't know how, I'm going to put it out on Twitter so people can see for yourselves.
I've got a clip.
What exactly
I will
what
post it
the,
immediately
what the
after this
question was and what
program
my
on my
answer was.
Twitter feed.
This is like
and
that
everybody
post
will be
that
able to see it.
No,
Okay.
one second. No, Divya.
Let me speak.
Yes.
Okay? That's false.
Can I read the question that she was asked?
No, now Amit, let her respond, please. He wants to play the clip, but we
No,
can't
no,
say.
not the clip.
One second.
Not the clip.
One second. I have a question. The question is this.
Question was not specific to what the Congress party was doing, but what psychoanalysis is and what it does for social media and how you make content and etc. I was explaining, not saying that this is what we do. I'd like to ask him, what does ABM do in Delhi exactly?
Who is
Association
ABM?
of Billion Minds. Ask him.
ABM, who is ABM?
No. First,
Is that our next story?
No. I will answer your question. The question was,
Please
ladies and
Google
gentlemen,
ABM.
before you
And
create
see
a
what they
meme
do and
or
who they're funded
anything
by.
you put on social media, what is the kind of research that goes into it? How do you choose the topic and how do you choose the outcome? This is the precise question to the head of Congress's social media cell, to which she responded, saying that we do a lot of psychoanalysis. I have a problem when Congress is using data without individuals' consent and manipulating for your
The
communication.
PM is still emailing all of us without our consent. And you're talking about me using data for psychoanalysis, which I never said.
Okay,
You
one
said
second.
that.
Can I ask you a question? While I can imagine that the BJP may want to portray a certain kind of image, why would Christopher Wiley, who's a whistleblower of sorts, say of all the parties, he could have said BJP, JDU, AIDMK, DMK, he said, we worked for the Congress.
Do you know that in the documents that he produced before court, none of the documents ever mention Congress?
Right
Two
behind
documents.
Nix's office is a
But
poster
that was
of
not
the
in the
Congress.
You said Christopher Wiley said,
Yeah,
right?
both.
And I'm speaking only about Christopher Wiley and what his documents produced, right?
No, but he's saying
it could
it
be that
didn't-
Alexander Nix wanted to work for the Congress and he put something at the background. So what? Big deal. And they claim to be working for so many clients in India, which is not true. And the SEL guy, whatever his name is, he's going back and forth on his statements. So I can tell you for a fact that the Congress party has never engaged or hired their services ever.
So there are two things. One, because Cambridge Analytica...
But you didn't ask him what ABM does.
I'm asking you what ABM did. You told me to Google it and I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone. What does ABM do? Please tell me.
You know, before we go to ABM, I have a question. No. By the way,
Batao.
Nani, the reason why I want to ask you a question before I answer what you're asking me, because I don't know what you're asking me, and it'll take me a while to figure that out.
You don't know Association
but the
of
question
Billion
is
Minds?
That Christopher Wiley, director in Cambridge Analytica, deposes in front of the UK committee, parliamentary committee. He names only the Congress party.
It is true.
Alexander Nix puts the logo of the Congress party prominently right behind his chair. Now, how many of us put logos of clients who we are pitching for or we have submitted proposals to? You normally do that. You put a tombstone. If it's a very important client of yours and you want to tell everybody who's coming to your office that, look, we also deal with them. The fact is, and the sad truth for the Congress party is that despite they using an insidious firm like Cambridge Analytica, they have done disastrously in the last 4 years.
Okay, then
They've
do you
lost
agree
election
that
after
in all the
election after
photographs that the
election?
Prime Minister has been
So,
posing with
you
Nirav
are
Modi
wasting your
means
money.
that he helped
You
Nirav
are
Modi?
stealing data of people of this country surreptitiously. You are not taking their consent. It is done without their approval. Yet you continue to lose elections after elections.
Okay,
I mean, there is something fundamentally
No,
wrong
but you
with
should
your
be,
your
one second.
logic.
But you should be very happy if they're going to Cambridge Analytica and losing elections. That's fantastic news for
No,
you.
Rahul, you see, elections will come, elections will go. We will win elections. They might win a few once in a while here and there. But the fact is that the data of people of this country, their privacy, is absolutely important. And we cannot allow companies like Cambridge Analytica to steal data
Rahul,
of
you're not
people
letting me
without their
speak.
consent
Okay, now
and
one
use
second.
for political purposes.
Okay,
And
let
Rahul,
her speak.
You know, just one last one.
I said you started off slowly. Doesn't mean you have to occupy the debate
But
without
listen to
giving
me.
her an opportunity. You've spoken enough. Now let her speak.
You are just biased.
Biased towards
to
who?
the
Going by
local
his
girl
logic,
here.
I want to ask you.
One second. I was
All
just
right.
checking
Sorry,
my
okay,
social media
yeah.
feed.
Going-
I'm being accused of bias on both sides. So then one
Wait,
second. Let us speak.
Going by his logic, then do you confirm that Nirav Modi and the Prime Minister Modi in the same photo means that he actually helped him?
No. Is that
No.
your argument?
No, please.
Is that
because
your
that
informed
photograph behind
argument?
me, Alexander Nix's office means that they work with
Are you-
us.
are you
Why-
saying-
And all those trolls who give rape threats to women online have been posing and saying followed by
You
Modi
can,
and put up
you
pictures
can divert
with him.
the
What
issue
does that
here,
mean?
there, everywhere.
I am not diverting.
But
I'm just
you
going
have
by the
to
logic you
answer
just
the question.
mentioned.
Why did you hire Cambridge Analytica? Did you hire them only because
How
of their
many
ability
times
to
should
steal
I tell
data,
you
to
that
manipulate
we have never
people, and
hired
to get
Cambridge Analytica?
misleading political messaging
One second.
out? Is that why you hired them?
I need to intervene again because if we continue
No
in this
point.
fashion, then again the debate will degenerate and then that really serves no purpose. And then it becomes cacophony. Let's just stay focused. I pulled out Association of Billion Minds. I found my phone. Is a political consulting organization that's working with a leading national political party, they don't say which, on strategizing and operationalizing various political campaigns and initiatives. There's nothing here which looks sinister except the look on Divya's face at this time.
ABM works for BJP.
I don't know who ABM is, but they are denying
He's
that they
denying
work
it.
with Cambridge Analytica. I'm denying it.
Okay.
I'm denying it squarely. And I'm telling you,
Now we'll get the
she's
ABM
not
guys to
coming
deny
clean
it.
on their association with Cambridge Analytica. I again want to ask one simple question. How many of people in this room have met Rahul Gandhi? I reckon very few, right? But the fact is that Alexander Nix meets him. When CEO of an agency meets the top boss of a political party, it means that several other people have met him before and they've decided to meet and shake hands. Why did you not deny when this news came on the 9th October 2017 in a leading
I did.
economic journal? No,
I
you
did.
didn't.
I did.
I just pointed
spoke
out.
to-
I just pointed
So
out
there
that,
are-
that you were, in support of psychoanalysis in February, and you flipped in March
So
when
I think,
the expose
no,
was
like
made.
like a lot of conversations on social media, just at this moment, we don't have material evidence to take the debate beyond where we are. Okay, so you're accusing them of using Cambridge
have
Analytica.
evidence.
You have evidence. They're
There are
denying.
several television channels, including yours, perhaps I did not see, have shown it. Open Magazine has done a cover story where they have put out a proposal that the Congress party received from Cambridge
Rahul, may
Analytica,
I?
which involved Karnataka election.
Okay, let her
May I?
respond. Then we move on to the next topic.
Every day, on a daily basis, right? All sorts of agencies from across the world send us proposals.
Yeah, you're such
Sometimes
a
we
winning
don't even
team,
look at it.
actually.
Okay, let me finish, Amit. Okay? But what matters is if we did business with those agencies or not. And I can tell you one more thing that we do as a policy. We do not hire external agencies. Our social media, our apps, data analytics, everything is in-house.
Okay, so I have 2 or 3 questions. There's one question which disturbs a lot of people, which I think Divya just touched upon. The Prime Minister following people on social media who say all manner of things, which are not acceptable, which are not parliamentary, issuing rape threats, hunting down people, very, very nasty. I don't want to take names, and they say on the top in their handle, describing their profile, proud to be followed by the Prime Minister. Why does this happen, Amit?
Rahul Gandhi is also somebody that the Prime Minister follows, and so is Arvind Kejriwal. Prime Minister following somebody is not a character certificate. And I have said so very clearly in the statement that I issued.
Why doesn't he
and
unfollow those guys?
After the Prime Minister or anybody follows anyone, if the individual goes and commits harakiri or says something which is unacceptable, the person following cannot be held responsible. But again, this is trivializing debate. The issues where we are talking about larger issues, we are talking about data privacy. The Congress wants to take us down to the debates of troll, which we do not endorse any which
Okay,
way.
one second. You've made a response, and the response is that the Prime Minister may follow someone.
Rahul. I mean, he's supposed to
No,
set
but
an
you
example.
can't hold the Prime
You should
Minister responsible for the actions of
unfollow
somebody
them,
else.
set an example.
Why not unfollow them? Okay, let's assume you can't prevent someone from doing something wrong, but when he does something wrong gets caught out, unfollow it.
We do that, but that's our decision, right?
Has the Prime Minister unfollowed anybody who's been in a
He would
controversy?
have.
He has.
Yes. Why is it such a big issue? I said he follows Kejriwal also, who has the worst language possible. He follows
Kejriwal
Rahul
doesn't
Gandhi,
give
who
people
does not
rape
conduct
threats. Come
himself
on,
in the
what are you
most
trying to
dignified
say?
manner. He says all kinds of things to his political opponents, her boss. But Prime Minister still follows him.
Okay, this is a question that, Divya, when I said that the both of you would be on the stage, just got asked very often. Who tweets for Rahul Gandhi?
Mr. Rahul Gandhi tweets for himself.
Are you sure? No, so you're saying that each of the tweets that get banged out are tweets that he puts out himself?
Yeah, doesn't Yash Gandhi tweet for Prime Minister Modi?
Can I respond to that, please?
Yes. Who tweets for Prime Minister?
Yash.
Okay, can I respond to that, please?
And sometimes Napendra Mishra, Sharma,
Please
whatever,
allow
he
me
also
to
does.
speak, please. Thank you. You all would remember seeing a video clip where Rahul Gandhi has gone to an embassy and he's writing out
So
a message in that visitor book. And he's constantly tapping on his phone to see what he has to write. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi for you. He cannot read what is written in the paper.
It's
And
better than the Prime Minister saying there is no such thing as climate change.
The
We
kind of
change,
tweets that
which is
we see
worse.
on Rahul Gandhi's accounts today, which are in Hindi, which are poetry, which are prose. We are in Karnataka. He can't pronounce Vishweshwaraya correctly. He cannot pronounce Baswana correctly. He thinks Bangalore has several cities in Bangalore. He
Slip
is
of
a
the
man
tongue.
in real life. His
1
Twitter
minute.
account is far too
The Prime
intelligent
Minister-
for him.
Can I speak, please?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, let me finish.
Talking of
Rahul,
which, no,
you
let
have
me
to
finish.
moderate
No,
this.
no, one second,
I'm
Divya.
sorry.
Divya.
Rahul, you have
He's
to
having a
moderate this.
monologue.
No, no,
Rahul,
I will
you have
promise
to
you.
moderate this.
I am
Please.
moderating.
Thank
it.
you. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi for you. He can't read
Okay,
what
you
is
made
on
that,
paper.
Okay, you made that
Forget
point.
about tweeting.
Now you're repeating yourself. Basically, Amit Malviya is saying Rahul Gandhi's image is that of a pappu. His tweets recently don't square with
Wow.
his public image. How do you respond to this?
Wow, to that gentleman out there who's laughing the loudest, please, let's not judge anybody here like that. Okay, it's not something funny at all. And talking of Prime Minister Modi that he's talking, I mean, forget slip of the tongues, okay? We all make mistakes, which is fine. A Prime Minister who doesn't believe in climate change. A Prime Minister who doesn't know how many years since India's independence.
Oh,
he says,
God.
17 saal. What is that? Please tell me, please
No,
answer.
but once again, before this debate degenerates, the fact is, Divya, that there's been a marked change.
Mr. Gandhi looking at a piece of
Why do
paper
you
and
keep
writing
calling
down
him
a
Mr.
message is
Gandhi,
fine.
Mr. Gandhi? Doesn't sound like
Because
very
that's-
European
no,
American.
that's how I call everybody.
In India, it's like Rahul ji or Modi ji or
No, I
Kejriwal
call
ji.
him Mr. Gandhi and that's
But doesn't
how I
it
like
make
to
him
call
sound
him.
like a European politician?
No, not at all. He's very Indian.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Divya. There is a marked change between before DS is Divya Spandana, and after DS. And why I say that is because Rahul Gandhi was tweeting in a certain way before you came along, and then it changed. You're saying he's doing it, but if he'd been doing it since the time he got started, I'd accept that he's the one who's tweeting. If there is a sharp change, and suddenly that's the point that Amit makes, there's poetry, there's prose, there's all manner of political attacks, it's very different. So what changed? How can it change with the same person?
People evolve, right? People change. I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. We write differently, we speak differently, we read different books, we just grow up. All of us do.
So we grow up, we evolve, and if you saw, for example, Amit in Gujarat, this was a very different Rahul Gandhi we saw. Even in Karnataka, in comparison with his previous campaigns, he's more evolved and more mature, is what Divya is saying.
Rahul Gandhi is unfortunately growing only in the quality of his tweets, not in
Is
his
this-
public appearances. I can understand she has to defend Rahul Gandhi. I mean, she really has no other option. But the fact of the matter is that we all know that Rahul Gandhi's Twitter profile, for example, is on steroids. He uses trolls and bots from Kazakhstan and Russia to boost up his Twitter profile.
Okay.
The
most
alt news
popular
article.
Let me finish, Bhaiya. Wait, before I finish, you allow her to speak. You being biased.
She's saying you're being biased, now you decide
Look,
who's being biased. She's
world-
saying from here, Chavi lagawing me, you're
One
being
last
biased.
thing. The most popular world leaders get retweets to the tune of, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. Rahul Gandhi suddenly, October onwards, when they apparently got in a deal with Cambridge Analytica, starting getting retweets as much as 10,000. But interestingly, if you go and look up his same post in Facebook, he gets 100 likes there. No. I mean, yes, of course. I check it all the time. That's my job. No. The fact is,
Okay.
the
now you've
Rahul
spoken.
Gandhi persona on Twitter is the manufactured one. The real man is the one who cannot pronounce Vishweshwaraya, who's a leading figure in the state which he wants to retain. I'm quite sure people of Karnataka
Okay.
are watching this and they are going to reply
Why
on
is
the 12th
Rahul
of May.
Gandhi's social media profile suddenly on steroids? Is this image
We
manufactured?
don't do bots. Those bots were planted by them. And the alt news, if you guys read alt news and you know what they stand for, they had a report. Amit Malviya had screenshots of those bots even before ANI could write the story. You planted those
He also
bots.
seemed to have the dates of the election somehow before the election
Exactly.
commission announced
So
it.
please.
But that's a different debate. We don't go there. No, but the fact is that if you see this,
We don't do bots.
No, but Divya, realistically speaking, the speed at which Rahul Gandhi's Twitter following is growing now.
Ask him, does Prime Minister Modi tweet for himself or somebody else does?
No,
Now,
but
why
that's
are you
not
going
the
on
answer to my question.
No, I'm telling you Mr. Gandhi tweets and we don't use bots. Now, I've answered. Ask him.
But the Prime Minister also has many fake followers. Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, all over the place.
When this report came out, Rahul, we spoke to Twitter. And Twitter has issued an official clarification saying this Twitter audit thing that floats around is not their official tool. And that's where it rests. But coming back to Rahul Gandhi, if Rahul Gandhi can write or even read one of those poetries that he has tweeted in the last 7 days, ladies and gentlemen, we should all stand up and give that man an applause.
That's just nauseating what you just said.
Yeah, I'm
Even
telling
though
you.
we come from different parties, I would never say that about the Prime Minister, okay?
Well, you said so much about the Prime Minister.
I've only spoken the truth.
And the fact is, what I have said is there for everybody to see. People are watching it. You see, social media is a very transparent medium. So when this
At least
entire
he doesn't stalk women or
transition
snoop on
started
them,
happening in
Amit.
social media's, Congress's social media, it was for everybody to see.
But you'll accept that she's made your life tougher. First,
No.
you had like a complete clear field of play. Since the time she's got involved, your life is tougher. Now, each bouncer you bowl, she bowls some back at you.
You know, it's good to have
Competition.
a competitive opponent, and it makes us also be on our toes. So, you know, it's good. But the fact of the matter is that
No, but will you concede that earlier you were dominating the narrative?
We
now,
still dominated,
No,
Rahul.
now it's split.
it's not split. Because, and I will tell you why, they are relying on certain agencies to push up their social media persona.
Like,
The BJP, Cambridge Analytica, you want me to name them again and again? But we have entrenched cadres. I spent many days in a month just traveling to several states and training our cadres. We've taken session for people down to the booth and tell them how they can use technology for better political communication. I am tomorrow, for instance, in Jammu doing this. I could have, you know, taken a break on
How
a Sunday.
difficult has it been
but
to catch
that
up?
is how we do it.
How difficult has it been to catch up with the formidable social media army the BJP's put together?
I don't think we want to catch up. I don't think our agenda is to control the narrative online, right? Because we believe that it's for the people to choose what narrative they want. And I'm just putting my narrative out there. And I'm not fighting with political parties online. I'm hoping that people will see through the lies, the fake propaganda and all of that, and then decide for themselves who they want to vote for. I don't want to control. That's not our objective.
So who peddles fake news? Who peddles propaganda? You know, why? And one question, very
An
important.
irony, you're asking
Can
him
I-
the question.
Why is the conversation on social media so nasty and so bitter? Why can't we have a civilized conversation?
Half of them are followed by
That's a good
Prime
question,
Minister
Rahul.
Narendra Modi, and you're asking him.
Again, I take you back to the comment that Divya made. She said social media is all about controlling other person's mind, and she spoke about psychoanalysis. But I'll move a step ahead. This entire business of psycho-profiling people, which the Congress is getting into and has done in Gujarat and have been trying to do in Karnataka
That's
election,
such a lie. Rahul, you can't
is
just continue to allow
dangerous.
him to speak lies and I'm just keeping quiet. It
is
doesn't mean that
insidious.
it's not fair.
Because it undermines our democracy, it undermines the free will of the people, it undermines the political choices they make. As far as communication on public platform is concerned, way back in 2013, the BJP has published a social media guideline that it expects its leaders and its supporters to follow. Has the Congress done anything like this? Let them produce it. And I request everybody
Who
watching this
recently
program
changed
to
their
go
privacy policy
Google it
on
on
their
our
app
website and
after
read
being
it.
caught on the back
It is
foot?
as elaborate as it can
Rahul,
get. The Congress has
you're
not done
moderating.
it.
I'm checking responses on social media, and I'm seeing who's saying what. And the Congress trolls are saying you're too soft on the BJP, and the BJP trolls are saying that you're biased towards Divya. So this is a bit unfair, and I'm in the middle, facing fire from both sides. What will happen as we build up to 2019? Do you see? Because now with fake news, there's a very
Ask him how the PM got hold of our emails. And I also mentioned something about, the Snoop Gate in Gujarat. You didn't bring that up either.
You know, the first snooping episode happened when Rajiv Gandhi introduced or tried to introduce the postal bill in 1980, where he wanted to read every letter of yours that was going to the postal department. So that is really where the Congress party is coming from. And
Talk
Rahul
about
Gandhi, who's now
Mansi
taken the
Soni.
mantle of that party, is
Talk
just
about
taking it to the technology
misusing-
part of it.
Misusing
the fact
the
is
Home Ministry and the
that
machinery to
despite
stop the
my
woman.
several attempts to get Divya to speak about Cambridge Analytica, she hasn't done so. She has been evasive. She has not
I have not
spoken
been
about
evasive.
the kind
because
of
Rahul,
engagement
you're
that
not
they have
allowing
with
me
them.
to speak.
They
I'm
have
going to
to
say
speak. No,
this
let me-
again and again and again, that the Congress party has never hired Cambridge Analytica. We've never worked with them. But since they also had the BJP as a client and they said they worked with them on 4 elections,
Cambridge
maybe you
Analytica
should answer.
never
You're the one who's being evasive.
Worked with the
okay, one
BJP.
second. One second. I want to draw attention to the arrest of Vikram Hegde. Mahesh Vikram Hegde. He runs a website called Postcard News and was accused multiple times of putting out incendiary, inflammatory posts, was arrested by the government. Now you're running a big campaign saying he should be freed. If somebody's caught out multiple times putting out highly incendiary posts, why should he not be arrested?
You know, we should apply uniform standards when we talk about freedom of speech and expression. We all know this firm called Wire, which runs another, digital operation. They have on several counts been found to have put out wrong news. For example, once they put out an information saying Ayush does not hire people from minority community. You would remember that, Rahul. Did we arrest the editor of that publication who was the former editor of a leading English newspaper?
But on Jay Shah, Amit Shah did file a case against them.
Did we arrest the editor of The Wire for putting out
but that wasn't a Wire story. Somebody else originally carried it. The person who carried it was arrested.
In The Wire.
It was reproduced in The Wire. That's correct.
Then they published a defamatory piece. Was the editor of Wire or any other company arrested? No. The answer is that you could question and you could allow the law to judge what is right and what is wrong. To arrest a man before a long weekend so that he does
Why
not
don't
get
you talk
bail.
about the fake stories peddled by
killing freedom of
Postcard
expression.
News?
So you made that point. Once again.
And it is only in this country that a section of the media is endorsing the arrest of a journalist when you all should have been protesting against his arrest.
He is not a journalist.
Okay, 1 second. So one
standard.
second. The fact is he runs a website. The website is aligned towards the BJP or the right. But
And
so
he's
be it.
followed by the Prime Minister, by the
So
way.
1 second. Amit Malviya's defense is everybody makes mistakes. Others have made mistakes as well because they make mistakes.
With intention, trying
because
to
they make
polarize
mistakes
society.
doesn't mean they get arrested.
Sorry?
His logic is because some journalist makes a mistake doesn't mean he should be arrested. How do you respond?
A mistake? Have you seen the kind of stories that they've come out with? That the Jain monk was actually assaulted by a Muslim man, which is absolutely false. And so many other stories about the Congress party and about, in fact, they wrote a story, Postcard News initially, that I never even attended the SARC summit. On what basis? They have absolutely no evidence at all. They've always put out fake stories with no evidence whatsoever. The boy is followed by the Prime Minister. And one of the co-founders, right, he was the one who gave a death threat to Bhagwan. He was the same person who said, he wants to get him killed. And he said, he warned him online. So who are these guys? How can you call them journalists?
No, because are these people journalists? Rahul, 1 second. He takes an image of a journalist who's riding and doing a story in Kashmir, superimposes Zakir Musa's picture on it, makes it seem as if she's riding with a terrorist. Now, that's not the kind of stuff journalists do. You can make a mistake, but this is deliberate misinformation and it's very, very dangerous.
So you mean to say... Rahul, if these are decisions that you and I are going to take, or police controlled by the state government is going to take, then I can tell you no journalist in this country is going to be safe in a Congress-ruled government. It is a decision that you have to make, whether as the journalistic fraternity, you would allow emergency back in this country. Congress governs the state. I am appalled that some people are endorsing it. I would stand for everybody's freedom of expression, even though I disagree. And if I disagree, I have the legal recourse. But I do not
people have been arrested.
The police to crack down on somebody's home at 4 in the morning and arrest him before a long weekend. We should be debating that whether we want a police state like Karnataka has become under Siddaramaiah. We have to discuss whether we want a state where state provides patronage to people who do political killings. We have to ask these questions of ourselves. And this is a problem today that is there in the only Congress-ruled state of any significance in Karnataka.
Now let her respond. Yes.
What about Gauri Lankesh? What about Kalburgi?
You have to answer that question.
What do you
Your
mean?
government is
the
here.
People, yes, they caught
you
the
have
killers,
not
and he
arrested
was
anybody
from
for
the
Kalburgi.
RSS.
He was killed 2 years back. You have not arrested anybody for Gauri Lankesh's murder. She was killed right here.
We have. You
What
missed
is
the news.
outcome?
We
Have you
did, and
proved
he
it
was
in the
from the
court?
RSS.
Who's killed it?
What do you have to say about that?
You see,
what about the journalist recently in Madhya Pradesh?
Every murder is a tool of
that
politics.
not a BJP ruled state?
Kalburgi's murder was a tool of politics for you. You did nothing for it in 2 years.
I'm sorry.
Gauri Lankesh's murder,
No, but
you have made it a tool of
one
politics.
second, one second.
You
one
are
second.
doing nothing about it, bringing the culprits
one
to
second. All of what you're saying would be true if that's the same standard the BJP applied in all cases. In states where you've been in power, in states like Chhattisgarh, in states like Jharkhand, in states like Uttar Pradesh, people have been arrested for saying things about Yogi Adityanath and Prime Minister Modi. People have been arrested for saying things on Facebook. So if that is also true, then you can't suddenly become such a champion for freedom of expression of this one guy who's posting all kinds of incendiary material.
No, did you ask me that question at that point in time? Depending on what the issues were, we had taken a consistent position. And we've always stood for freedom of speech in letter and spirit,
But
not
why
just
are your
talk about
state governments then arresting journalists or activists, even some IAS officers, who put out some material about, your senior leaders?
Like who? You have to give me examples. We have to look at the cases. We are discussing Karnataka here, and we are talking about an arrest that happens on the dawn of a very long weekend. Are you justifying that, Rahul? I mean, it could happen to anyone.
What time the arrest
It could
is
happen
not-
to any journalist. It
I'm
could happen
sorry.
to any independent blogger. You are stifling free expression. You are going to kill expression if you do this. I don't care whether it happens with a journalist or anyone
It's
else.
not about what time
If
he's
it
arrested,
happens,
it
even
depends
with
on
an
for what he's
individual,
been arrested.
it is scary.
We're not talking about
I
the
would
reason
not
why he's been
ever
arrested.
endorse anything like this. We don't want a situation where cops are knocking at your door at 4 in the morning. We are not like an Islamic state like Bangladesh where bloggers get
Amit,
killed
Can we go
for
back to what
expressing
happened in
themselves.
Gujarat?
But this happened in Delhi itself, where there was a Chhattisgarh journalist by the name of Vinod Verma who was arrested, ironically, at the stroke of dawn by the police who came in because he was working on a story which showed a BJP minister in bad light.
Because that was a morphed video and that was proved beyond doubt. And that is where the police acted.
No, but there
And
that
you
story...
think we do not have enough proof against
Let's
Mahesh
not be
Hegde?
economical with truth.
What is he
The fact
saying?
is that there was a morphed video which he was using to blackmail the concerned politician, leader, whoever it was there. There were severe issues of impropriety there.
As
on behalf
they
of
are in this
journalists.
case also.
They are not, Rahul. I don't agree with that. And that is why I'm saying these principles have to be applied in the court of law. They cannot be applied through journalists, through articles, or in television debates. We have to be consistent. We don't want an emergency kind of situation. It's unfortunate that they have buried the legacy of emergency, but with internet,
Let her
now
respond.
people know a lot about it.
I don't know what he's saying. He's just like going from one point to another that has absolutely no connection. He's just trying to divert from the issue. He's not answering why Mahesh Hegde was arrested in the first place. Does he not agree with
I'm
all the
asking
fake
that
stories?
question.
What?
Why
What?
was he arrested? That is exactly my question.
Because we have evidence against him for those fake stories that he had put out, and he was trying to polarize society
So if
with
there
those
was,
fake news.
no, but then the
And
parallel must be the same. You're saying that journalist in Delhi from Chhattisgarh was using a morphed video. This
Please
person was
don't
using
call him a journalist. He was not a journalist. Just because he runs a website doesn't mean he's a journalist. You're insulting every journalist who's sitting here.
No, I'm wondering because the problem is, how can I say, one second, I'm saying how can I say somebody is not a journalist? I mean, if people are reading him, if he's publishing every day, then it's really not for me to sit and judge on whether he's a journalist
Absolutely the question that who should be judging these things? We have judiciary.
Listen, there's
You
judiciary
cannot
that will-
allow the police
or not. Okay.
and the
No,
state
so one
to
second.
take control
Again,
of our lives.
Okay, one second. So, like Cambridge Analytica, now we move on from this because we've kind of got stuck in this social media warp where we're now repeating ourselves. What happens as we head to the 2019 general elections? What kind of preparations are you putting? Would you like to tell Amit what you're doing?
We're definitely not going to be doing what ABM is doing and what they did with Cambridge Analytica in the 2014 elections. Whatever we do with the consent of the people. Whatever data we have is people who sign up on the website to become members, people who sign up to become volunteers.
So I want to ask you this because you launched a broadside against the Prime Minister accusing, there was a French blogger who first put it out saying that data is being sent to a third-party app abroad. And that became a big issue. Rahul Gandhi jumped onto it, the Congress jumped onto it. Next day, it turned out that the Congress app was doing the same and you quickly deleted it.
No, can I?
Yes.
So I'm grateful for this opportunity because I really want to clear the air on this. So basically, we had an app called With INC, which is primarily a membership app, okay? And we pulled it down 6 months ago and we transitioned the membership to the website, a new website that we were coming up with. And when Elliot Alderson put out the link, and he said, if you want to become a member through the INC app, and then he put the link to it, and he said, it's unencrypted. The link that he put out, right, if you clicked on it, it was showing an error. So people who clicked on that link on that particular day thought that we had pulled it down on that specific day because of his tweet, and there had been a breach of data, which is not true. And all of these BJP guys and NDTV also shared the wrong link. And therefore, we had to pull it down. But I have evidence, and people can also look this up. We put it up, and people will know with my tweets and everything that we had transitioned membership 6 months ago to the website. And that's the truth. We did not have...
The charge against the Prime Minister also was that his app is sending data abroad. That charge wasn't denied. You explained that media companies also do it, others also do it, this is regular. But at a time when data privacy is such a big issue for the Prime Minister's app to be sending data to a third-party app geographically located outside India?
First, on the Prime Minister's app, let me clarify. I've said so in several of my interviews. I wrote an article also on it. The Prime Minister's app sends no data anywhere outside. The company that we use for analytics within the app, which is a standard for all mobile apps, is an Indian startup based out of Mumbai. So there is nothing that is overseas. That air must be completely clear.
Clever
The
Tap?
server... Let me finish.
Clever Tap?
Let me finish. Yeah, Clever Tap is the Mumbai-based company. Yeah?
No, it's based in the US.
I mean, I know it, no, because I run it.
No, because we've seen the address on their website. It says the US.
Can you just moderate this, please? Thank you. Now, the thing is that that is the clarification on the Prime Minister's app. The Congress ran a spirited campaign against the Prime Minister's app, and I must tell you that we had 2 lakh fresh downloads in the next 2 days. So
the next day you also changed your privacy statement.
Exactly.
No, we didn't. I'll tell you why.
Of course you did, and you put out a statement saying that you changed your privacy policy.
Yeah.
Let us speak, because when he interrupts when you speak, you don't like it. Let him speak, I said. No, I said let him speak, because when he interrupts when you're speaking, you don't like it.
Yeah.
I was looking for what ABM is.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's about the Prime Minister's app. But now, since we are in Karnataka, Chief Minister Siddaramaya's app, which is run by the government of Karnataka, actually sends the data to a private company. And the company's name is, it's called Outreach Initiative, app of the thing, and it goes to a server called citizenoutreachapp.in. So it is going to a private sector company.
And now that app has also been taken down?
This app has also been taken down after this came to light.
Now, dal mein kuch kala hai na. Why is the app out now?
So the Play Store, the Google Play Store has
Rahul,
become Congress Mukt in the first place.
Can you please moderate this?
So
it's my turn to speak now.
My
Please
super boss
moderate
is sitting here. You are saying you're not doing a good job at moderation. She's saying I'm not doing a good job at moderation.
Not.
It's appraisal cycle, boss. You'll get me into trouble.
I'm just saying moderate it.
Can I say something?
Both of you are saying I'm doing a bad job at moderation.
We just caught him lying on something, or his hypocrisy, so to speak. He just said that Narendra Modi's app goes to an Indian startup, and therefore there's no problem. But Siddaramaya's app, also data is being shared with an Indian company, and that you have a problem with. Huh?
Please understand. See, this is about technology. I understand Congress has technology dinosaurs and you don't understand about it.
Yeah, right.
Our analytics
Because we do things
tool
ethically
does not
and you
take
don't.
your data. It only studies user behavior
That's
pattern.
psychoanalysis.
You know, it is
That's
as simple
Rahul
as
is
that.
psychoanalysis.
But
and
you
he
know,
does it. And then you caught him.
Rahul,
He said so
can you
himself.
moderate this, please? You have the job to
I
do.
can moderate it if the both of you let each other speak.
He just said
if you don't let each
something
other speak, how am
and
I
you didn't
supposed to
catch him
moderate?
on
You know,
that.
sitting
He just said that the data is being...
Okay, now let her finish.
Sitting
Let
in the
him finish.
tech capital
really
of this
unfair.
country, if the Congress social media IT chief says that your analytics tool is taking data away, then I can only be amused. Because no analytic tools takes data. It only studies the surfing pattern and provides you more relevant contextual data. This, I'm sure people in Karnataka understand extremely well.
Okay,
And
let her
that is
respond.
a short form for psychoanalysis, which you just said. And about Siddaramayaji's app, actually what happened was, because his app is his and because of the election code of conduct, they had to pull it down. Not because of anything else.
How do you see things change between now and the 2019 elections with fake news, everything that we saw in the United States, Donald Trump coming to power, Russian interference? Now, those are very, very serious concerns, even in the Indian context.
Rahul, we are, in fact, very concerned about this whole fake news business, and particularly since Congress's relationship has come out.
Best joke ever.
That's because
Best
after Congress's association with Cambridge Analytica has come out, it is even more scary. I am glad the government has asked Cambridge Analytica to present its side as well as question Facebook on it. But I believe in the inherent wisdom of the people of this country. In the last few months, we had seen a spurt in negative news about the government and the BJP, which was being done at the behest of Congress Party and was orchestrated by Cambridge Analytica. But after their association has got exposed, a lot of it has almost disappeared. And I can tell you that we have such overwhelming support of the people of this country that 2014 is going to be even better, 2019 is going to be even better than 2014
How
as
much
far
of a
as
threat
we are
is
concerned.
foreign interference, destabilizing Indian elections?
He's an excellent example of, the saying when you say you keep on saying the lie 2-3 times and it becomes the truth. He's an epitome of that. Thank you. Having said that, no, please now, you've said enough. It's my turn. Let me speak, okay? You were asking me?
No, I was saying how much of a threat is fake news, foreign interference, forces inimical to our interests wanting to destabilize our country by trying to influence the election results?
Definitely a big challenge, Rahul. Also from them, the fake news and all of that. And also the fact that because we don't have a good policy in place, right? It is possible
There's
for
no data privacy policy in our country.
Can you please look at me when you talk to me? Like you're constantly like looking at him, sitting like that. I'm also here, okay? Thank you. I haven't finished.
You were saying?
Yes, I was saying that it is possible for other countries because social media is so vast and anybody can, tweet anything from anywhere, and because we don't have a good privacy policy in place or a data policy, in fact, it is possible that Russia or Pakistan or any country can actually manipulate elections in India. It is quite possible.
And that, Amit, is a real threat. You've seen the latest season of Homeland?
Prime Minister Modi is very good friends with Nawaz Sharif. Very good friends with so many people.
Now, can I look that side with your permission?
Please do. You've been looking at them all the time.
Can I look at them a little bit? This is a real... The seat is actually very small, and it doesn't have any swivel in it either. So this is a real problem. The problem is, if you see the latest season of Homeland, how there is huge amounts of interference. Now, China, Pakistan would love to influence what happens in the Indian election. How are we going to guard against that?
Before Cambridge Analytica came along and held Congress's hand, there was KGB. And we all know the role KGB had in India's political history, particularly under Nehru and Indira's regime, and splinters of it are still active in our polity, in our society. So we obviously know how to handle this external threat now much better. And with the advent of technology, the oligarchies that were controlling India are dismantling, and Congress is on the receiving end of it. And therefore, as far as national security is concerned, the government is going to do everything possible to ensure that data of individuals is protected.
Isn't it time that we bring a data privacy
Please
law?
start with the Prime Minister's office.
And privacy is, held at the corner and the center of the discourse. Now, what has our government done as far as data privacy is concerned? In 2011, when UPA, their party was in power, the AP Shah committee had put out a report on data privacy and individual data and how it should be protected. The UPA did nothing on it for 3 years. Then they introduced Aadhaar at that point in time, and there was no legal sanction to how Aadhaar was being regulated. It was Mr. Modi's government that brought in the Aadhaar Act in 2016 and gave a legal framework.
And
can I finish, please?
All the data
It brought in several safeguards as far as data is concerned. Then this government appointed Sri Krishna Committee report, which brought in a paper, and there is a framework which is going to be out in May 2018, of which Aadhaar is a subset.
Okay.
And therefore, this government has worked a great deal towards data privacy.
Okay, final words because we are out of time.
Yeah, I want to say. So he has a problem with Mr. Rahul Gandhi looking at a piece of paper to type out a message. Can you please hold that up for the audience, please? And these bits of papers is fine for him to keep looking at and then coming and talking to you guys. So there you go, the hypocrisy.
Okay, the social media gladiators have spoken. This has been a fantastic session. We leave it to each of you to decide who won. I'm not even going to ask for a show of hands. But the battle will rage online and we're going to end it over here. Thank you very much.
I heard someone say Divya.
And Divya Spandana, both of whom thought I did a terrible job, but I'm hoping that the people who are watching thought I fared slightly better. Can we have a very warm round of applause for Divya Spandana and for Amit Malviya, both with a deep Bengaluru connect joining us here. Thank you.